Well, hello there, everybody. I am Tony Grillo, and welcome to my channel, Wisconsin Hugs. I'm actually right at the border of Wisconsin, on the just south of Milwaukee, at the Illinois-Wisconsin border. I'm in a town called Pleasant Prairie. I am, if you see the water tower there, there's my semi truck right there, and I am at the rest stop. We call them rest stops here in Wisconsin. I know in Illinois, I think they call them oases. And I think other states, I think Iowa, they call them welcome centers. But we are here. There's my buddy DJ. Hi DJ, how you doing, buddy? How you doing, buddy? How are you? Wow. It's a little windy here. But I thought I'd show you real quick the rest stop here. I can remember one time, hi everybody. I can remember one time when I was back in college. I had a bunch of my friends. We were driving to a friend's house. His parents were gone for the weekend, so we were going to have a party at his house. He lived about an hour north of our college. And so we all drove out there, and actually we rode in my car. I think we took multiple vehicles because it was a group of us. And I had a group in my car. And I remember one of the rest stops right before we got to Rice Lake, Wisconsin. I said, you know, this is a really nice rest stop. And one of the girls that was in the vehicle with me, who I had a slight crush on her, but we were just friends. She says to me, you know, you're such a dad. Only a dad would say something like that this is a nice rest stop. And I've never forgotten that, because you know, that's something you don't want to, like, if you're trying to impress a girl, and here we are, you know, all of us, a big group of us, we're heading out to my friend's place, and you kind of like this girl, and she's riding in the vehicle with you, and you're trying to be, you know, like, hey, maybe, you know, some sparks will happen this weekend, who knows? And then she says that to you, and yeah, that pretty much ruin any opportunities there, because I guess, you know, I mean, I don't think any college girl wants to date a dad, you know. So I thought I'd show you this real quick. They got this pond area here with a fountain, and then at nighttime they have colored lights. So I think it's really pretty. And me and DJ, we like to walk the pond. Oops, we even have the Wisconsin State Patrol hiding right here. That's kind of a weird spot to hide, though. You know, because if you look, you can't really see any speeders or anything. No, I don't know. Maybe, can he get people over the bridge? Yeah, but everybody's slowing down as they get on the bridge to get on the off-ramp. I don't know. This is always kind of fun right here, walking on here. I don't know. Loved doing this stuff when I was a kid because there really wasn't much to do. How you doing, DJ? Oh, DJ's right behind me. You get across? Yeah, he got across just fine. We're just kind of making our own path, it looks like. I knew there was a little path here because they stuck some rocks here. Oh, you can see the water there. Don't allow any fishing in here. I suppose with the fountain there, it creates plenty of oxygen, so I bet there would be fish here. Yeah, we've been driving from Indiana through Illinois, through all the stop and go traffic in Illinois on 294. Just got across the border. Got past the weigh scale, and we thought we'd stop the rest center, the rest area. And get DJ out of the truck for a little bit so he can stretch his legs. He's got to go, he can go. So I thought I would take DJ and put him up here on the Welcome to Wisconsin. They have this set up there, people can take pictures. So there we go. DJ, you gotta look at me. It says, welcome to Wisconsin. DJ welcomes you to Wisconsin. Right, DJ? Hey, DJ, where are you going? DJ? DJ, where are you going? He's like, yeah, I really don't care about getting my picture taken. I just want to explore. Right, DJ? You just want to explore? Yeah? Alright. Well, everybody, welcome to Wisconsin. There we go. That's what DJ says. Right, DJ? DJ, you gonna smile at me? DJ. Hey, DJ. 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 There's a guy there. He lives in that ambulance. It's like his camper. He bought it. And I see him here all the time. He lives like right here. This is where he lives. I've talked to him once or twice. I don't know if he's in his vehicle or not. I know he has a generator set up where he, in case it's really like hot, he can run an air conditioner. But yeah, he come into Wisconsin here, and yeah, you'll see that ambulance sitting there all the time. He talked to a few times. Really nice guy. I offered one time to buy him a chicken dinner there at Quick Trip across the street, but he's like, "Oh no, I'm good. I just ate." So I'm like, okay. Because we were heading over there, we were going to get something for ourselves, weren't we, DJ? Come on, buddy. So I got about 3 minutes left before I got to get back to work. But I think today's topic, I was going to talk about a job interview that I had that it didn't go well. And I was married at the time, and I was making really good money as a truck driver, but I knew that I was having marital problems, and I was gone all the time, and it's hard on a family, and I had a daughter at home too, and I thought maybe I could, I knew I was on a volunteer fire department, And that was another thing too. I was always missing drills and missing calls. And, the only time I could do anything was on a weekend when I was home. But I thought, well, it'd be nice to, find a job where I'd be home every day. And maybe I could salvage, I knew it wasn't working out. And I thought, maybe I need to change my job. And so I knew from the assistant fire chief, he was a prison guard in Waupun with Dodge County Correctional in Wisconsin. And so, he told me they were hiring. And he says, you got to take the exam, the entrance exam. So I had to make an appointment, and then the civil servants exam. Civil service? Is it civil service? Yeah, civil service exam. And I went to Madison, and I took that exam, and I have a college degree, so that doesn't make me smart, but I'm used to taking exams. And I also run a spreadsheet program at home that budgets everything, all the money that we have to shell out every month and for the year and all that stuff. So, and I'm pretty good with calculations in my head too, just from being a trucker too. I have to add numbers all the time in my head. And so like the very first part of the exam, there was it was math. It was I think it was 100. It's a timed exam, so there was 100 questions, just math. That's all it was, and I flew through it. I because that's one of my strong suits. And then I went through the rest of the test, and I when I was done, I felt pretty good about it. And I even went back. I had time left over. I went back and rechecked everything. Like went back through the math problems to recheck, make sure I didn't make any mistakes. And sure enough, what they did was, the people with the highest scores were the first ones that got interviewed. And I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, being one of the first people to get interviewed for the job. But I got called in. I was one of the very first people that's got interviewed. So I came, I had to, I was working that night, so I actually had to drive my semi-truck to the town, to Dodge County, which is in Juneau, Wisconsin. I had to find a spot to park the truck on the street. Luckily, it was at night. The interview was at night. So there wasn't there was areas where I could park the semi-truck and not mess the town up, or nobody was going to get mad that a truck was parked on the public streets, not too far from the courthouse. And so I walk in there, and I was shocked for the interview. They had 6 senior citizens there, 3 men, 3 women. They were doing the interview. It was a citizens board. This first time they were going to conduct interviews with the citizens board, which I thought there was not a single supervisor there, not a single jail guard. My assistant fire chief wasn't there. He was I don't know what they call him over there, but he was one of the higher up guards. And he wasn't there either. Not a single person that works in the prison system, was there. It was just these 6 old people. And, and so, they asked questions, tell us about yourself. What would you do if we came to your house, and things like that. And I thought I did pretty well on that. I tried to keep it friendly and cozy and everything. And then they got into questions about the job itself. What would you do in these situations? And I was kind of annoyed by it because, first of all, they were desperate for guards, and I had done very well on the academic part of the test, so I clearly had intelligence. If they were looking for employees that were smart, but the fact was nobody trained me how to do the job, so I had no idea. And they would ask questions like, if you actually fall asleep during your job, would you report yourself to your supervisor that you fell asleep? Now, I suppose the obvious answer is yeah, I would. That's probably the answer they're looking for. I don't know what kind of answer they were looking for. But first of all, I was kind of offended by the question, because I'm like, I drive semi-truck. I've been driving truck for 20 some years. And if I fall asleep behind this wheel while I'm driving, I'm going to kill people. That's as simple as that. So I can't fall asleep, especially on this job. And not only that, I don't get paid to sleep. I mean, you don't pay me to sleep. So I told them that. I told them, well, I ain't going to fall asleep on a job. So I don't know what kind of answer you're looking for, but yeah, I'm not going to fall asleep. So, and that's how I answered the question, because I was being honest. I was being truthful. I'm not going to fall asleep on the job. It's not going to happen. And I don't think, according to them, if they were scaling it, like they were like, adding numbers, like total points, I probably didn't answer the question right, and I probably got a 0, on that one. Then they asked a question. This is another question that really bothered me. They said that you just got hired on, and then they go, you find out that a fellow guard is smuggling drugs into the jail. Do you report that? And I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm a newbie, okay? First of all, I don't want to create waves as a newbie, I mean, what? So, and so I told them what I would do. I said, well, as a newbie, I got to make sure that person has my back and they got my, I have their back. They got to know that I have their back and they got my back. We got to work together. We're working together in a very extreme hostile environment. We can't have bickering and infighting going on between us. So I said, if I honestly thought that somebody was smuggling drugs and breaking the rules, I would confront them, and I'd say, hey, are you doing this? Is this something you're doing? And I would tell them to knock it off, because it's not right what you're doing. And if it keeps going that way, I might have to say something to the supervisor. That's how I would handle that. I mean, I was, I bet that's the wrong answer. I just know it's the wrong answer. That's not the answer they were looking for. They were probably looking for, yes, you would report it. But, then here's the thing. Now I'm working in a jail. I reported this guy for smuggling drugs. I don't know if he got suspended or not. And then all the other guards are going to know that, I ratted this guy as a newbie. And they're not going to like me. And they're basically, are they going to watch my back if they don't like me? If I get in a bad situation, are they going to help me? Are they going to protect me? Are we teammates? Are we, like I played on a college hockey team, and one of the key things I know is that you want to be a good teammate when you're working with people. I've always got along with everybody. I try to, and I work hard as anyone else would. I don't try to slough, and I don't try to cheat. I don't cheat my employer. I don't steal from my employer. I don't badmouth my employer. And so, I got to count on those guys, especially in that situation. But I bet it was the wrong answer. And I was thinking to myself, I actually did say this. I said, I asked the one guy, because he was really old. I said, do you live in your own house, or are you in a community home with a bunch of other people, senior citizens. He might have been offended by that answer, by that question, but he goes, I have my own house. And I'm like, okay. I said, what if you wound up in a home with a bunch of other people, and the lady next door, sweet old grandma that everybody loves, who's, just a pillar of the community her whole life. What if you found out she was selling, what if she was making laced marijuana brownies? Are you going to rat her to the police? Are you actually going to call the police on that sweet old lady and have her arrested and busted for, marijuana brownies? Are you going to do that? Now, if you did that and you arrest her, everybody's going to think you're an asshole. Nobody's going to like you. Nobody's going to want to talk to you. Nobody's going to want to say hi to you. And everybody's probably going to bitch about you in that building. And eventually they're going to try their best to get you kicked out, and they hate your guts. And that's the way I felt about that question about I just felt like these questions that these people were asking were designed to make you fail. And I know I maybe got annoyed. I think maybe some of the questions were designed to test your patience. And if that's the case, yeah, then I failed, because I started to kind of lose my patience a little bit. I was getting annoyed with the questions because I didn't know the answers. I remember at one time I even asked the guy, I said, what is the correct answer? Do you even know? And not a single person would answer the question or tell me the right answer. And then another question they asked me was, how do you feel about the prisoners there, and how would you treat them? And I made the question, I made the remark, I said, well, at the time I had a kid that was in jail for drugs. And I said, I have a kid right now that's behind bars, and I would hope that he's being treated with respect, because he's a human being, and I would do the same thing. I would treat people in that jail like I would hope my kid was being treated. Now, I would think that would be a good answer, but I saw a bunch of them scribbling notes that, this guy's got a kid in jail, and I probably failed that question too. So I actually called my assistant fire chief at the time, and I told him, that was a waste of time, because I said the citizens board, there wasn't a single person that actually works in a jail that was there during the interview. I don't know how these old people, they asked a bunch of questions that they didn't even know the answers to, and never worked in a prison guard, and they have no idea what kind of employee they're even looking for or would want. I said it was just and you guys are desperate for people. You need people to work there. And yeah, they turned me down. They fired me. Or they didn't fire me, but they didn't hire me. They failed me on that part of the test. And so I guess what I would have to do is, if I ever go back and do that again, do a situation like that where maybe I want to, like be a police officer or something, because I know that the local communities need police officers really bad, and I'd like to get on a semi truck and be home every night with my girlfriend. And so I thought about it. I thought about going back. I probably should go talk to a police officer about, hey, what the heck's going to be on the test, or what I know how to pass the civil service exam, but what should I say for the interview? How do I do the interview? What kind of questions will be asked? What are they looking for answers? And I probably should have been better prepared. And maybe I shouldn't have gotten so annoyed at the questions. But I remember a couple of the questions they asked me about procedures, and I'm like, hey, how am I supposed to know the answer to this? I would expect that before I would do the job, you would train me, and I would get some training so that I would know how to answer these questions. I mean, my semi-truck is parked right on the street right there. What if I threw the keys at you and said, okay, you got to get this load delivered to Cincinnati by 11 o'clock tomorrow, Eastern Standard Time?
you're not going to be able to jump into that truck and take off without some sort of training. You're not going to be able to do the job. It's the same thing with here. I've just felt like it was just, I was so, and I did. I got totally frustrated with that job interview. I thought it was just a waste of time, and and then I talked to the fire chief who worked there, and he said, after they did that whole setup with the citizens board, they got rid of it. They totally disbanded it, and I said, I can totally relate. I can totally understand that because it was just a waste of time when I was there. I mean, they were asking me questions they didn't even know the answers to, and none of them worked in that field. And I don't even think any of them know anything about teamwork. They were looking for specific answers and they were evaluating with points based on that answer. And I felt like the questions that they asked were, some of them I couldn't answer because I didn't know the job or I hadn't been trained for the job. And other ones, they were looking for answers that I felt were not good answers. Because I'm not going to sit and report every single freaking person I work with on every tic-tac little thing. The only time one time I reported one of my employees, a coworker, because I noticed we had to run a route together, and this is back when I was doing tires. We were driving route trucks, and I noticed he was all over the place, driving everywhere. And I made a comment to the boss. I said, you might want to give that guy a drug test. And he was shocked when I said that. And then he went and talked to the foreman, because I was the new guy. I was the newbie, on the employee. I was the new driver. And so he talked to the foreman, and foreman said, nah, he's creating problems. He's trying to get people into trouble. He's a troublemaker. And so he said, well, I don't know. I don't think that's what this guy's like, So he said, I tell you what, let's call the other guy into the office, and let's see what he has to say. So they called him into the office, and they didn't mention anything about me making the statement that I made. They just straight out asked him, and the foreman was there too. They were both sitting there together. And then the boss asked that guy, he said, hey, our company's getting bigger, and I have to change insurance, and all the drivers, every employee that's here is going to have to do a mandatory drug test. So I'm asking everybody right now, before this goes into effect, are you going to be able to pass the drug test? And the guy just said, no, I'm not going to be able to pass it. Not now. But if you give me a week or two to clean myself up, I'll pass it. So he walked out, and the foreman had his mouth like, and the boss said, yeah, okay, well, that answered that question. And what's really funny is me and that guy became really good friends over the years. And he was one of the hardest working guys, and he stayed with that company forever. Even after I left that company, he was still there working for him, and I think he's still there to this day. He's still working for him. So he cleaned himself up, and he's doing fine. So, well, I know this video got a little long. I gotta get going. I gotta go deliver my load of pickles from Cincinnati over to Appleton. I still have about an hour and a half to get there. So everybody, Wisconsin Hugs, I'm out of here. Bye.